like it almost exploded. It was the most incredible thing I'd ever seen. And then I got this fire inside where I was like, I want this role more than anything. I want to be part, even if it's like a tiny part, I want to be part of this magnificent show. And I knew it was going to be a success from the moment I saw that pilot. I just something in my, and so I had to kind of still jump through the hoops and do, I think I did an audition and a callback and a sort of workshop type situation, reading sort of fake scripts that weren't, trying to the beginnings of this character. And then it got down to me and a celebrity actor. And I've been in LA pursuing acting for a long time, and when a celebrity enters the mix, usually you're a goner. It happens all the time, and that's happened a bunch of times. I've lost out to celebrities. So, but then I got a call from one of the other producers to say I got it, and I got to call Amanda, who'd become a friend of mine, and deliver the news and say I got the role, and we were both very excited, and yeah, it was just amazing. So that was the kind of way that, so if it wasn't for Amanda Overton, who is not only a friend now, but just such a hero of mine, and I'm sure a hero of some of yours, I wouldn't be in Arcane, someone else would.
And I love stories like this, because this is how, as a performer and an actor, you do a gig, and how sometimes it just boomerangs back into your world. That little table reading you did 10 years ago, oh, hey, what was that? But yeah,
you just never know. And when you're is anyone here an actor, or voice actor, or wants to be, or it's a dream or anything? I always see hands hovering. Yeah, you never know, when you're starting out, a lot of the time you're doing free work or work that's questionable, or questionable start. Like my first film, I was like sleeping on a mattress on a floor in like an old house. It was like sharing a mattress with like two strangers. It was very, there's all sorts of stories like that. We've all got those kinds of stories, or most of us do, but it is amazing when one of those opportunities circles back around, and that's kind of part of the joy of the pursuit, is you never know when that moment's going to come.
And that's why you never phone it in. Never phone it in.
It's true.
Always give it that 110%, because you never know when that domino is going to knock something over.
Absolutely.
So wow. So what? When people will often say, especially in a project early on, it's like, did you know it was going to be successful? When did each of you realize that? I think it's fair to say this series kind of eclipsed expectations. When did you personally realize, oh wow, I'm in something that's something?
I mean, you can attest to this fully, so please jump in and tell this story with me, because it's pretty unbelievable. Season 1 premiere, which was in November of 2021?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, we were all in LA. That was also on Riot headquarters. And it was the whole cast of Season 1, all of the writers, all of the producers, showrunners, everyone who was involved. And we were all able to go into this this bubble movie theater. It was very strange, but it was this huge premiere. We all went into this movie theater, and we were able to screen the first 3 episodes of Season 1. And for most of us, that was the first time we had seen anything past the first episode. All the way through, at least. And we were all sitting there and hearing these audible reactions coming from everyone in that room. And by the time we left, it was about to premiere all over the world at that point. And I believe it was at the after party when it finally dropped. Like when it officially came out on Netflix.
I actually did not make that initial screening. But no, it's fine. But I saw the press.
Yeah.
What was it? Was it New York City, or was it Japan?
I think it was New York first.
Yeah.
Long story short, we were all there at the after party, just celebrating this really beautiful thing that we had all created together. And once we had seen the animation and all of our work and the soundtrack, all of it, we knew this was going to be a thing. But we had all been sitting there, and it came out in New York first. And I don't remember who it was. I think it might have been JB, who turned to me and he goes, "Netflix just crashed." And I went, "What?" And he was like, "Yeah, the whole site, no one can get on." As it started to continue to premiere all over the world, the site continuously just kept not working. The entire site crashed worldwide. And then we were on Netflix #1 series for weeks, months. And my whole life changed in that moment, and I know that's like sappy and like people say that all the time, but like no, truly it did. It's like watching that in real time is something that I'm never going to forget. I hope I never forget that, because that feeling, especially being with everyone who had been there since the very beginning of the process, you know, at that point it must have been 6 years of work or something insane like that. We were all together in this space watching, you know, the seeds that we had sown years ago finally come to fruition, and it was unbelievable. But that's definitely the moment I knew that like, oh, this isn't just some video game adaptation, whatever, which is still a wonderful thing, but this was something entirely different.
Yeah, it was just a phenomenon, absolutely. Like we'd never seen anything like it. And you know, when you wait 6 years for a show to come out, I mean, we were all buzzing, you know, amongst each other, like, is this even still a thing?
We didn't know if it was ever
Right. We'd almost
forgotten. It was
forgotten.
delayed over COVID. It was supposed to come out during COVID.
And there is a precedence for this. I've known people that have done whole, like, yeah, I did a Micronaut series that was 50 episodes like 8 years ago, and it's sitting in a vault somewhere and may never be seen. Yeah, more common than people realize.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So, what was your wow moment?
Well, I mean, when I first, like I mentioned, when I went to visit Riot, it was so interesting because originally Arcane, if you can believe it, was kind of a side project that they weren't taking that seriously. So it was they were in a back building. They weren't in the main studio at Riot Games, is just as you said, it's incredible. But the Arcane department was like way at the back. But as I sat in a screening room, you know, when I was first invited to Riot, and it was like Amanda and there's a couple of other people there, but it was that moment when I saw like the opening visuals for season 1, and I just knew, like with every fiber of my being, I just knew that this was something that not only I hadn't seen before, that the world hadn't seen before, and that it was just gonna smash ceilings, and incredible things were gonna happen. And it was so surreal knowing I was attached to the project when I finally did get offered the role, and then seeing season 1 come out and having to stay quiet and seeing pictures and videos from that amazing event and being like, I should be there. And it was just incredible, you know. And I wasn't surprised by the success of season 1, and I wasn't surprised by the success of season 2, because the writing is so phenomenal, and the animation, I just knew it was this lightning in a bottle thing. The performances were so phenomenal, and I just had fully had faith in the project. And it was amazing to watch it unfold the way that it did. And I couldn't wait to tell you all who I really was.
What have each of you enjoyed the most about your characters?
I grew up with Powder. I auditioned for Powder for the first time. I must have been 9. I started recording at 10, turned 11 while I was recording. And yeah, I think something that I really love about Powder is how family-oriented she is. And obviously there's some of that in Jinx as well, but Powder in specific would do anything for her people, whether that's her chosen family, found family, you know, Milo, Clagger, Vander, all those people. Even Silco, if you want to argue that. I don't know. I can't even. Or, you know, biological family, fine. Like, in that moment when she is still Powder, she would do anything for those people. And I think that's something, that is a trait in Powder that I think feels a lot like me. Because I would, and I do. I do anything for the people that I love, the people that are in my life. I believe are there for a reason, you know? And that's something to me that's always really stuck out about her. And also her wit and that dry sense of humor that she has. It has always also resonated with me because that is also very much up my alley. So yeah, I think the love that she has for her family, even if she doesn't always go about it right, aka blowing up her entire family. Sorry, if you haven't seen it, I'm sorry that I'm spoiling, but it's literally 3 episodes in, like, you'll be fine. Yeah, I think she's so beautifully written, and it feels very authentic to me then, and feels very authentic to me now.
Woo!
Great answer. As for me, you know, starting with Jules, the character that I initially auditioned for, I just loved her because she was a freaking badass, you know, and I'm all about playing badasses wherever I can because I absolutely do not feel like a badass in real life. I just play one on games and TV now. And I think why I actually didn't attend that premiere is because Jules was supposed to be just a one-off. She was just supposed to. David Lyerly, the casting director, he kind of revealed to me later down the line, he was just like, yeah, you know, Jules is a one-off, unfortunately. I'm like, damn it, the show looks fun. I was like, please tell me there's more. I gotta be more part of this. And he's like, I got some good news. You know, we've got another character coming. Just hang tight. And then later he revealed to me, you know, that I would be voicing Shula. And we didn't know what Shula looked like at the time. And initially, we regretted that because she has such a badass look, you know, with the clock stuff on her neck and all of this, the bald head, and I was like, oh man. And me and David were like, man, if we knew she was gonna look like that, you know, we might have given her a little more. But I'm kind of glad I didn't know because I'm hearing so much from the fans that they love kind of the regalness and the elegance that I brought to the character. And I think if I'd have known what she looked like in advance, it would have kind of really colored her as a character in a completely different way. And what I like about Shula is, you know, I try to bring that sense of, you know, Shula is kind of the anchor in the council that kind of keeps everyone together. You know, she's very neutral. She keeps everything in order. That's her job. And so I tried to play her from this place of purity, a place of justice, and just seeing her as kind of like the embodiment of justice. And so I received really good feedback from that. So yeah, it was a blessing in disguise that I didn't know she was such a badass looking character. She is.
My favorite thing about Maddie. Let me get my list. Actually, I'll tell a quick story. So what I loved most, it's kind of a narcissistic answer, but I'll explain. What I love most about Maddie is that I was able to freely pour so much of myself into the character. They use my images to build the character and video clips to create her mannerisms. And so, particularly in that opening scene with Vi, when she's very awkward and a little kind of twitchy, like that is all from me. And years and years ago, when I started in video games, I got cast for a role in a big game called Spider-Man with Yuri Lowenthal. Well, hold the applause because it's a sad story. Okay. I'm loving the feedback. Keep me, boo. I was cast as Mary Jane and had started working on the project. It was a huge breakout role for me. They'd done the full scan, they built the character. This is so scary, I've never told this story before. Wow, this is liberating, guys. You're my therapist now.
Otakufest exclusive.
Exclusive, you're my therapist now. Yeah, so I started working this game, it was a dream come true. I actually had originally auditioned for a villain, and then they said, oh, we love all your like weird quirks, your kind of twitchy, but they didn't say that, but that's what they meant, your twitchy, weird personality. We want to create a new version of Mary Jane that encompasses those qualities and move away from this sort of original Wonder Bread traditional. So I started working in the game, and then I think someone high up at Marvel decided that they didn't like my quirks anymore. And that they wanted to go back, and they cast Laura Bailey, who is a legend. I've worked with Laura, she's an icon of mine. She belongs in that role, she's incredible. But they kind of cast me with all my weird quirks, which amazed me at the time. I couldn't believe someone wanted me to be in a role like that. And my biggest fear was that it would be taken away, and then it was. And actually, I spiraled in a depression for a long time. I was really sad. I actually didn't work for a few years because I kind of had a bit of a mental health spiral. So sad part of the story. But actually, I'll be honest, like Arcane was the first project that reignited my passion for the craft. And I got to play myself. I got to do my own accent, and I was able to unselfconsciously, you know, pour my heart and soul into this role and be weird and twitchy and unique in myself, and they wanted to capture that. And so when I first saw a clip, the opening clip of Maddie when she's interacting with Vi, when I first saw it, and I thought this character's kind of awkward and weird, and it made me feel icky for a moment. And then I was in tears. because I thought, oh wow, like those things about me that were a bit strange and that they didn't want for that project, they've embraced in this project, and I just felt so proud that I was able to show who I truly was through this character. And then they made her evil and killed her. But up until then, it was amazing. I'm still proud of all that, you know. I mean, I honestly wouldn't change a thing about the character. I loved her arc, and I just loved creating mischief and annoying you all. It was a joy.
Well, yeah, get a round of applause for that.
Thank you.
And here's the funny thing, to your credit. Originally in the comics, Mary Jane was quirky. She was spicy.
Yeah.
She was snarky.
Yep.
She was not the Gwen Stacy was the, but Mary Jane. Yeah. So you were on a traditional right path. It was that executive that was wrong.
It was fun, and I never actually thought I'd get cast, so I brought in a lot of my, like you were saying, you don't ad-lib. Like, I ad-lib too much, like to the point where they're like, shut up and stop. And so I just, you know, added in a lot of like jokes. I thought, I'm not gonna get, you know, there's no way. And so I was so loose and free and silly in that audition, because I didn't think I was gonna get it, and then I did. And then that was the reason I was fired, so it was a bit of a weird, it was weird, but life is weird, right? So.
You got here. You lost it was a domino that fell that got you.
I'm
there.
a firm believer in that. My grandparents, rest them. They say they would say, "What's for you won't go by you," and they would say it all the time. And it's just the way. It's a philosophy for how I navigate my life. I really believe it, that we're where we're meant to be.
Absolutely. What for each of you? What's been the best thing to come out of this gig?
Dude, this. What? Like, yeah. I mean, getting to interact with people who love this project as much as we do, whether that be in person, at conventions, or online, it is one of the greatest joys and honors of my life to share powder with you. And getting to hear people's stories about why she resonates and why the show resonates and what it means to them is, I wouldn't trade it for anything. That is definitely my favorite part of all of this. I would not, I cannot thank you guys enough for being so kind and being so vulnerable with me when it comes to the show, because we put a lot of ourselves into this. Being a good actor requires a lot of vulnerability and showing parts of yourself that you might be really scared to show. So seeing that be reciprocated in such a beautiful way is such an honor. So thanks, guys.
Yeah, hard to top that answer. I absolutely feel exactly the same way. You know, Arcane was my first animated show, you know, so how lucky can you get? I mean, I hit the jackpot, and I mean, I'm still pinching myself every single day, you know, when I see the fandom. And you know, at first I questioned, like, was my character significant? Did it mean anything? Because I really did, you know, pour as much of myself as I could into the role. But, you know, you don't know if these things translate. You don't know what resonates. Things get, you know, dropped on the cutting room floor. And, you know, like, I think there's a snippet on YouTube. It's like all of Orla's scenes, you know, and it's like 2 minutes. And I'm like, oh my God, when you see it back to back, I'm like, that's it. But I cannot count how many people have come up to me, and when they see her, and like, oh my God, you voiced her. And it's just like, wow, okay. You know, and they're like, oh my God, Shula just means so much. Like, her grace, her strength, like, she inspires. And I'm like, okay, that was my intention in the booth. So to know that you guys feel that sort of thing, it just means everything to know that you're receiving what we're giving, and that this means as much to you guys as it does to us. So, you know, thank you. Yes.
Oh no, copy paste. Yes, firstly, the Maddie Defenders, you know who you are. The few and the mighty. Freedom! Yeah, all of those, everything that you guys said, that human touch and connection with all of you has been overwhelming, actually. If you come to my table here for a chat, you'll know that I love to chat and I love to get into people's souls and under their skin and all that stuff. But also, you know, the relationships I've made with the team behind Arcane, the writers, the producers, all sorts, right? Every department. It's been the first project I've done with voiceover that I've gotten to know every single department, all the people, and I can call them friends. Like my castmates, you know, like I get on well with everyone. There are no arseholes in this project, really. Well, you know what it's like though, when you've been in, you know, LA for a long time, it's, you know, there's always one that ruins it for everyone else. But there's not in this project. Everyone is so just wholesome in their heart and passionate and loving, and that's what I think is the recipe for this, for a lightning in a bottle project like this. And I think you can feel it in every cell of the show. And so it's just that, it's all of it. Thank you. They were tough acts to follow. I summoned
I'm trying to picture if there was a sourpuss in like the writer's room or something. What would be like? I just want to sell my Star Wars spec script. Man, somebody harping on that. I've got a meeting at Fox for a series. Well, ladies, before I jump on out and take our audience questions, on behalf of myself and the audience, I just want to thank all three of you. I thank you for your talents and your professionalism and the performances you brought to these roles and your collective body of work. You've all done some really fantastic job and for so many projects and brought so much entertainment for so many, and thank you for that. Alrighty, so like I said, we can start a line over here. Get my phone. Oh, you start over. Okay, let's go over here so we can get that blow up. Okay. So hey, what's your name?
My name is Altane.
Yes, good to see you again. They threw me out. Where's your wings? Nah. All right, that's what she said. What you got today? What you got?
So my question is, if you have one, what is your favorite song between season 1 and 2 from the soundtrack of Arcane?
Okay, so I think the entire soundtrack is so unbelievable. The amount of people they were able to get on board with this project is ridiculous. I personally really love Goodbye, which is at the end of season 1, episode 3. Stunning. And I also really love the one with Sting and Ray Chen. What could have been? What could have been? So beautiful. Those are my favorites.
Oh my God, I am so drawing a blank. I used to listen to the season 1 soundtrack on a loop, and I'm not gonna say the open with Imagine Dragons. That's the only thing. It grew on me. It really did grow on me. At first, I didn't quite get. I don't know. I was like, does this? And now I'm addicted to it. Okay, God. Okay, good. Because it feels like a cop out.
Is that your favorite?
It was one of my favorites. I know I have more, but I'm totally trying to play.
When I was patiently waiting over 4 or 5 years for my season to come out, a lot of thumb twiddling. Whenever when season 1 was already out and the opening would come on at the gym, even if I was having a bad day, I'd be like, I'm in a TV show, la la. Like it's totally like
Get bumped.
it really is, and I love
What's the one that's like track 3? It's
track
really,
3.
It's like,
anyone know?
It starts off kind of like with gears.
I love like paint the town blue. That's a big favorite of mine. That is and what else? Does anyone speak French?
You got it? Okay.
Yeah, this one.
Enemies.
The King
I feel like that's everyone's favorite.
The King Princess one, yeah. That's fire.
That is just amazing. But the emotion. Yeah, it's the whole thing behind that. So yes, please. So many.
What's your favorite?
What could have been?
I
love the violence.
Yeah, you adore that. I agree. Thank you all.
Thank you for your question.
Great.
You look amazing.
Yes, absolutely.
Gorgeous.
You also look amazing.
Hey, what's your name?
My name's Toby.
Hi, Toby.
So I want to know, what is your guys' first reactions when you first got the script, when you first read through it? Does that make sense?
No.
They never gave us the whole script.
No, well, I mean for your guys' arcs.
They never, like
Well,
when we
I-
watched it for the first time?
I got the script, so
Well, then I guess this question is just for you.
I didn't get them all, but I got a couple of them, and I was like, oh my god.
No, we didn't.
It was amazing. It was amazing. Everything I read was unbelievable. It completely destroyed my idea of what I thought animation could do. I was like, this is real writing. This is amazing. Yeah, it was.
I feel like you got the edge.
I got it all.
Yeah, like what?
I got it all.
I saw my line. Make your choice, asshole. But
Wait,
that
wait,
was it.
So did you not know what was going to happen? Did you not
be on that scene?
Not
No.
really.
That's
No.
unbelievable.
Well, I mean, I think for me, they would give us like rough drafts of the animation that they thought they were going to use, and they'd be like, so here's what the vibe is. And I'd be like, okay. Yeah. But we never got anything past our scenes, past the things that we were involved in, as far as I can remember.
It was so top secret. I mean, this was just such
It was also
a
like
big
called
project.
something else. Like it was like it had like a secret name, as they often do with projects like this.
So yeah, they limited us. I don't even remember. It's like S. No.
It was something weird.
Yeah, it was something like.
And
a
that's
couple
that's
letters.
part of the course nowadays. You just do your scenes and stuff like that.
For their scenes, just for their scenes, what were their first reactions to just their scenes is what I mean.
Well,
No, it makes sense to me. Like, how did you feel when you first read your scenes? How did you feel about the writing, and how did the character resonate with you?
I think that the writing. I mean, I thought Powder was so authentic and so lovable, and I felt really bad for her. I still do.
Because
She
you were
didn't
a
deserve that.
kid.
Yeah.
When you were reading that's a whole different perspective.
I am like canonically accurate to the age that Powder was, and now I'm the same age as Jinx.
Wow.
So I have always had so much sympathy for Powder, and the more I read my scenes, the more my heart broke for her because she did not deserve that. She never deserved that. So.
there you go. Thank you. Great question.
Thank you so much.
Hi, what's your name?
Hi, I'm Sophia.
Hi, Sophia.
If you could pick a favorite character that isn't your own, who would it be?
Mine's Catboy. You might know him as Heimer. Catboy's my fun little name. From the moment I locked eyes on Catboy, I was obsessed because he reminded me of my own cat, and also like my grandfather rolled into one creature. I am obsessed with him.
Yeah, I agree. Actually, Heimer,
Or Jinx, or Vi, or
no, but I can't really say that. I can't say Jinx because that doesn't like count. What do you guys think that counts if I say Jinx? It's like
Kind of. Yeah.
No, you don't.
No.
Okay, well, I'm gonna say it anyway. Jinx.
Yeah, I would say Jinx or oh my god, I'm completely brain farting. Jason Spizak's character.
Silco.
Silco.
I mean, ooh, it's just delicious. What a delicious role. Yeah. I love the villains, man. What can I say?
Mia, take that look off your face right now.
I hate Silco. You can tell everyone I said that. You can tell everyone I said that.
Uh-oh.
No, let me just. Okay.
Explain.
I just think he's so. I think Silco is so. Like.
Say it. Say it.
He just pisses me off.
There we go,
man.
get out.
What sort of creeper comes up to a little girl in an alley and is like, "You're coming home with me. I'm gonna make you my prodigy." I cannot stand him.
Here, have some candy, little girl.
But he
Misunderstood.
no, he grew on me by the end. But like, if you wanted a daughter so bad, have one.
He didn't look
Why
like
you
he was
have
the
this-
most fertile.
I don't get. He had the means with all of his science stuff. Anyway,
You can tell there's trauma
I
here.
can't get into this.
We don't like to talk about it.
There's a lot, Dropbox. Great question, though. Thank you. All right. Round of applause for that. Hey, what's your name?
Ivan.
Hi.
So I was here to ask, was there ever a particular segment that you actually had to sit there and like re-record over and over?
Always in voiceover.
I know that, but was there ever one that was like the problem?
Oh man. No.
Really? It's such an emotional role. Really?
I mean, yeah, I mean, there were definitely like certain scenes that I can't remember now that like I had to go back and forth with very, specific notes. But for season 1, episode 3, where I'm, having that moment with Vi, that was 2 takes, and they used the first one. In case you are confused as to what I'm referring to, that's when I'm screaming, crying, why did you leave me, etc., etc. Yeah, we only did that twice because I was a little girl, and it is hard for anyone to do, but they dealt with that moment with such compassion, and they really wanted to take care of me in that moment and make sure that I was okay, that I wasn't overwhelmed, because all of that was coming from a place, again, of authenticity. I keep bringing up that word because that's what comes to my mind when I think about Arcane, is authenticity. But yeah, they really took care of me. They gave me... David Lyerly actually called me the night before I was recording that, called my mom and was like, hey, can I just talk to Mia for a second? She was like, yeah. And he just kind of gave me a rundown of what was going to be happening that next day, because he knew it was going to be emotionally taxing for anyone, not just an 11-year-old. So, yeah, other than that, I know I'm answering the opposite of your question, but when stuff like that comes to mind, I'm always just kind of like, yeah, things are usually recorded over and over and over. Even, for this show, so many takes, but for that scene, twice, one and done, basically.
That had to be probably the most legendary scene, by the way. David Lyerly is a dear, dear friend of mine, and he told me about this moment with you. And he could not stop raving on the rooftops about your performance and the connection that you guys had during that scene, and how pure and authentic and just amazing and raw your performance was. And you absolutely did not lie. You broke our hearts. It was so moving. It was phenomenal. And yeah, you could tell that it was real, and beautiful job.
That means a lot. Thank you.
All facts.
Thank you. I loved it.
Phenomenal work. I was just surprised because I'd come from sort of open world games where sometimes you do 1 take of each line. And then they were like, do it again. And I was like, really? And then my OCD kicked in and I was like, I want to do it again. But that was amazing because it was more like, when I used to do, rehearsing for plays or on camera stuff, I was like, oh, it's back in that world. It was a really exciting way to work. So yeah, I got to spend a lot of time, I felt, on each individual section of Maddie, and sort of perfect it and play and all kinds of things. Experiment, it was fun.
Fun question, thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, what's your name?
I'm Allie. Hi.
Allie, hi.
My question is, what was your favorite either scene to watch or record throughout just both of the seasons?
That's a peach. It's peachy. You're good. You're good.
Okay, cool. I'm doing good though. That was the only one.
Mike.
Oh, right.
Hi. All of it is so beautiful. I can't really put my finger on one. I really loved recording the scenes with Vi. Again, when you're doing voiceover, you're alone in a booth. You are not recording with your fellow actor, which sometimes can make it really difficult. But I want to say Haley had recorded before me, so they were able to play Haley's lines in my headphones, and I was able to respond to that. So it just felt really, real and very safe. And I love that side of Vi, and I love that side of Vi and Powder's relationship. So definitely those scenes when they were just kind of talking to each other, sister to sister, probably my favorite.
Yeah, I have to agree. I mean, that was really the pivotal moment of the entire show as far as I was concerned. I knew very little about League of Legends lore when I watched the show. I mean, I was already, Evelyn in League of Legends, and I thought maybe there would be a tie-in to the characters there, but of course Evelyn does not appear. And by the way, FYI, I've got this question a lot. Shula does have nails that look like Evelyn. There's no connection, but so many people are doing the math. Wait a minute, the claws. But no, I have to say, I did know about Jinx's character in the video game. That was she was this, wild, off the cuff, firecracker. And so it was amazing to see the evolution of her in that scene. I never expected that I was going to have the sympathy that I did for her, seeing her come from, her beginnings as Powder to how she wound up as Jinx. and that I would relate to and just feel so much, again, because of the extraordinary performance. So yeah, that was my favorite scene too.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to beat the early powder and it's hard to, because it laid the groundwork for it. I mean, I think that's honestly the reason that the emotional core of the show was so successful, is because you laid that emotional groundwork and did it at such a young age.
Whenever people say that to me,
it's unreal. It is unreal.
It's so, even like this last season 2 premiere that I was lucky enough to go to, Alex and Christian, the showrunners, came up to me and said the same thing. They said that again, and I was like, it just is so crazy to me.
Right.
The work you did on the show, it was unbelievable. Truly unbelievable. My favorite scene for Maddie was just probably the intro with Vi, only because I got my hopes up and I thought, do I secretly ship Maddie and Vi? Sure. Do I secretly ship Maddie and everyone?
They're
Sure.
gonna get you.
Early, who put your hands up here if you came to my table earlier with a picture of with a little ship for Maddie and Hyper. Who was that? Where are you? Show yourself.
That was crazy.
I got all excited. I can't stop thinking about
Yo,
it.
some of these ships,
Can't stop.
y'all are creative.
Such a fan.
I'm like, okay, sure. What the hell?
Sure, why not? It's Arcane. Anything can happen.
Truly.
Okay, we have just a few minutes left, but I've only got like 4 people in line. So what's what we do? We're gonna do kind of a sort of a lightning round. So real quick, I'm gonna go on, say, hey, what's your name? What's your question? And go. We'll try to get you all through. So ladies, we'll step it up another gear. Oh, they're having a conference.
Oh, sorry. We were saying, do we have to rush out at the time because there's another panel coming in? Because we don't mind have a few extra minutes.
If it's okay with you, then we'll
We're
do
good.
Then
Yeah,
we'll
of
do
course.
this. Then we'll do these 4 people at a normal pace. Okay, if it's okay.
Yeah. We don't want to rush anyone. We're totally fine.
I'm never afraid of you. I'm afraid of your agents.
All right. Oh yeah.
So, all right. In that case, what's your name?
Jalen.
Jayla. What you got, Jayla?
So earlier I was talking to Katy and Mia about like collecting and being a collector, and I want to ask like all of your characters, what do you think they would collect?
Well, Powder is a trinket girl. That's like literally her whole thing. She collects anything and everything. Like, I don't think there's any one specific thing. She just like really loves trinkets. Me too. So.
Yeah, I would say like with Shula, like I said, I always envisioned her kind of like the Libra symbol, with the justice scales. So I would say she'd probably collect some of those.
Girlfriends. Hey! Here all night. Try the veal.
Okay.
Yay!
That was a good one. That was a good one. All right. Thank you. Round of applause. That was a good
Thank you,
question.
bud.
Okay. Hey. What's your name?
Charlie.
What you got, Charlie?
Sorry, I have to laugh at that.
Want some water? You okay?
In the premiere of season 1, did you manage to actually meet your co-stars, everybody else, like Haley Steinfeld, Ella, and you guys together? Did you manage?
Yeah.
Yes.
It was so much fun. That was the first time we had all been able to be together in a long time, probably since the table read. That was the first time me, Haley, and Ella had all been together. Because, and this is not like an unknown thing, obviously things go through recasts all the time, but out of the 3 of us, one of us was not originally cast as our character. So that was our first time as like a family being together, and it was really wonderful. I love those girls. I love everyone in the cast.
I too love the cast. I have not met them all, but I love everyone that I have met. I have not met Ella yet or Haley. Yeah.
I mean, we met at an early screening.
Yeah.
The sound department.
Of
it wasn't
the
the
finale.
premiere. Yeah, it was a little mini screening of like. It wasn't the whole thing, was it?
It was the finale.
Was it?
Yeah. I know, it was strange.
What a weird thing to screen.
I think it was
Just
because that was kind of the magnum opus of, the sound.
We weren't all
music.
there though.
Yeah,
There was only a few of us. I had some catching up to do because I came in season 2. So
Right.
but I got to meet everyone really officially. Everyone at the premiere, and had some great conversations with everyone. It was so lovely. It was honestly one of the most memorable nights of my life, going to the premiere and seeing it on the big screen, seeing the first act on the big screen, and then meeting everyone. So Yeah, I think I got to meet most people, right? Have you met most people?
Like I said, I haven't met Ella.
Ella, she's so nice, Ella.
I
She's so,
know, I would love to.
She's so cool.
Doggone it. If only Shula was cast earlier. I missed all the cool parties.
And actually, I got on really well with Katy Loong, who plays Kate. We get on well in real life.
That's awesome.
But we're both from Glasgow. We're both from the same city.
Wild.
We're both the same age, and we're both called Katy, so it's meant to be.
Wow.
So, yeah, we got on really well.
Hello, Master Jedi. What's your name?
I'm Alex.
Hi, Alex.
Hey.
So I know that what's it called? That Katy already mentioned that Arcane already had some of your quirks and like your personality and your mannerisms show in your character. Did it happen for Mara and Mia?
Yeah, dude. I mean, that's one of my favorite things looking back on Powder is she's almost just like an exact copy of my face when I was 10, 11. You know, all the way up to, high school. But yeah, they did the same thing where they recorded us on a camera in the booth, and they would take our mannerisms and some of our facial features and animate them into the show. And I really love that. I really, really love that. And it's very special to have that immortalized forever.
And I personally never received confirmation if they use my likeness at all for inspiration. I've been told multiple times that, I'm thinking maybe. I see a little resemblance. I'd have to shave my head to know for sure, but.
Do it.
Right, I'm on it.
You don't got a razor?
Between Ikora and Shula, I might as well, right?
So, big question. Do you get a blue one or a red one? Dun, dun, dun! Forever shall the dark side dominate your path. All right, round of applause. That was a great question. Okay. All right. What's your name?
Justin.
Hey, Justin, bring us
Justin.
home.
If you had to voice another character, who would you voice?
In the Arcane universe?
Yeah.
Oh, Jinx.
Jinx.
Jinx. But actually, maybe Vi.
Oh, yeah.
We would be a fire Jinx and Vi.
I think I'm like Maddie on the streets and Vi between the sheets.
Katy,
Whoa. This isn't being recorded,
we have
is
to
it?
know.
Like, I don't...
Yes. Oh my God.
Don't tell anyone. Don't tell everyone.
Hi, I'm Patty. I have a question. What kind of upcoming projects might you have that you're allowed to share with us?
Season 3.
No season 3, and we know this.
Yeah.
There are some really cool spin-offs that are in the works, which will be really fun. I have an upcoming Netflix series. I don't know if I'm allowed. I talked about it yesterday. I talked about it yesterday, but I'm like really not sure if I was supposed to. But I have something on Netflix that's gonna come out. I believe this fall, so keep a lookout. That's gonna be there. Yeah. I have a couple of things in the works that I can't talk about just yet, but there's some really cool stuff coming out, hopefully within the next year, which I know sounds like a long time, but I mean, Arcane took 9 years, so I can wait.
Yeah, same. There's so many things under NDA. I definitely have some animated things coming out, but they haven't been announced, so I can't talk about that. But I think it was yesterday or day before yesterday, you can find me video game-wise in Dune Awakening. Yay! A lot of people have been looking forward to that. Yeah, I play a character named Ilara Tuick. She's the spider, and I also play Margot Fenring. So the game is getting some pretty good traction. So if you're about to play, I think you're gonna have a good time. Beta's gone pretty well.
I'm in a game called Avowed right now, which I actually forgot to promote. Like when it came out, and then I saw a bill. I was driving through LA and I saw a billboard, and I was like, oh my god, yeah. My character's Alora. She's a feisty Scottish ginger. That's strange. Why does it keep happening? How weird. Yeah, I feel like I should just dye my hair ginger at this point. I have another animated show that's gonna, I think I would like you.
You would, actually.
So, I'm in another animated show that's gonna take a while to come out, so see you in another 4 or 5 years, I guess. And I've also started collaborating on some sort of LGBTQ plus indie projects. I want to do more of that because I love, I've not done enough of those kind of collaborations in the sort of voiceover realm, so I'm excited, really excited for those too.
Cool. And one final question. Would you ladies like to take a picture with this wonderful audience?
Of course.
All right, folks, here's what you do. Come up towards the stage, not on the stage. Come on up towards the stage. I want to take a picture of this amazing cast and all of you. But what I do want to do is kind of create a hole right here, because that way we can all get you on camera. So, kind of, yeah. Kind of keep it, you know.